We're going to get started with the meeting in just a moment. I'm actually going to share my iPhone screen, and we'll hope that all of this works. Sometimes this screen sharing on Zoom looks a little choppy, but I think this should work quite well. So today's agenda is pretty simple. We're always going to start off with a what are you working on overview, and then we're going to get into is what you're working on where are you in terms of your progress working on that, and then we'll hop into how can the group help, what resources are you looking for, and then we'll have a guest that will contribute. So right, one on. I'm going to add Kaylee, Bria, and Sydney.
Okay.
Hey, Sydney.
Hey.
What do we catch you at Walmart?
Yes.
Oh, man. They have strong Wi-Fi there?
Look at the face mask on.
Oh, my God. Well, you look like you're part of a cartel.
I know, right?
Hey, let me try to get...
Come out.
Hey, no problem. Let me try Bria and Kaylee again, and then we'll try to get this started. For whatever reason, it didn't go through to them. Hang with us.
Okay. How are you all doing today, by the way?
Hey, really well, Sydney. And once... hey, Kaylee, how are you?
Hey, Zach.
Hey, cool. We've got my wife with us, and I'll explain why in a moment. We've got Sydney Bryan on the line. I think she's at Walmart, and I told her she looks like she's a cartel member. So
I know. Look, I have to let her.
Oh, there she is. She looks way more intimidating with a mask.
Yeah. Look, I'm cracking up. This is so funny.
And then Crystal Bowling, of course, dropped her phone yesterday and can't use FaceTime. So I'm putting this on Zoom so she can get this kind of after the fact. Let me try to get Bria in here one more time.
My niece is having a baby, and we have to get ready for the baby. So she's in here too with her face mask.
Oh man, we're gonna have two people that don't have corona. We know that for sure.
During this time, but it is happening.
We'll give Bria a few more seconds, and then we'll jump into things.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me go into this just as it's ringing up Bria. I brought Denise on the call because she's kind of done some things that I think will be pretty inspiring to the group. Denise and I have been married for 10 years, so
Oh wow.
yeah, a decade of pain, and she'll explain why. But you know, the whole purpose of this is, as I messaged everybody yesterday, I think all of you have done some really great individual things. But when you get to a group of people, or get into a group of people that are similarly motivated, you can go to the next level.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, you know, I agree. And what I want to do, and I'm going to kick off so you guys can see what I mean. I want to share, like, what are you currently working on professionally? I'm not talking about like just kind of in broad strokes, but like professionally, what are you working on now? Where are you in terms of achieving it? And then how can anybody in the group, like, what is something we could contribute to you? Like, what do you think you're stuck on that maybe if you had an extra contact, some help with, like another resource that could help you make a breakthrough? Think about that. You don't have to come up with that on the spot, but like, let me kick off. So right now, professionally, obviously, I'm running the 22 plus program and the CDCA program, but I have a very big goal of bringing what we're doing to California. California is an enormous state. It's the 5th biggest economy in the entire world, and they have 25 million people in the state that are adults over 22 that don't have a diploma. So I'm trying to bring our program there. It's a very, very big challenge. I will tell you where I'm at with it. I am in probably the last week of negotiation with a school that is doing this on a somewhat small scale in Sacramento. We're working through final details in order to kind of close the opportunity. What that will turn out to be is us helping thousands upon thousands of adults get services similar to what we do at Dawn. Resources I need. If anybody wants to give me any thoughts on how to negotiate this further, I've tried everything I can. So
that sounds like a very. But I'm like, so that's very big. Like, because I know Ohio was like not one of the only places, but you know, we were fortunate to have this program here.
Yes. No. So, yeah, you're right, Sydney. Ohio is one of the only places that allow credit recovery, like you all were able to do. California does not allow it. It's a very painstaking process. So, with that said, I'm pretty far along on it. I will share this. You know, I built myself up over 2 years from going, kind of working on a lot of things to working on a very few things. I've had a good fortune, and without going into deep detail, I've been able to get my family in position where I'm able to earn over 6 figures for myself. I'm able to put together a lot of nice partnerships, but I did not do it. The first 8 years Denise knew me, I barely had any money, and I was struggling quite a bit financially, just because I had a lot of good ideas. I was always ambitious, always hardworking, but very few of them materialized. But over the past few years, that's been able to change quite a bit for me. So I wanted to just kind of honestly share where I'm at, just in a very high level overview. Kayri, would you mind to share what you're working on now and where you want to head, or what your progress on your current goal is professionally?
Currently, I'm trying to like start my own small business. I told you about the esthetician thing I want to do, and that's just one of my focuses. Start school yet for the certification because, of course, everything's closed. But that's like one of my small-time goals is to get that going and just making some right now on the side with me starting that Christ. Like we had to know you type of thing, and I kind of put that down what I was interested in, and a lot of people was like, hey, you know, I'll come when this all is over, let me know how things go, I'll come and be a client. So it's just more like we have to get myself in preparation for being able to take clientele.
Yeah.
That's really it.
No, that's awesome. If and you may have known this, but Crystal Bowling, who is in this group, unfortunately, her screen cracked. She is very like she's a lash technician, and she does have a
Mm-hmm.
nice clientele, and she's been able to have some nice success. So I mean, she's a terrific resource. I can also talk with you more on a offline
I'm
phone
looking
call, Carrie,
like
on my thoughts on how to get started. So thank you so much.
okay.
Hey, Sydney, tell us where you're at professionally. What are you working on currently, and where are you at in terms of achieving whatever your kind of most recent professional aspiration is?
Well, currently, like it's like with us at a standstill. It's like a lot going on. But before this was happening, besides getting the jobs and the good employment stuff, like we were actually working on opening up like a home health agency and also starting a daycare, um, which is still actually in place. Daycare so much more because we have like a lot of kids in our family that need actual daycare.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still doing that, and that actually has moved forward. I'm working on getting a pandemic like actual certificate,
Yeah.
so I can be able to just take the kids like that
Mm-hmm.
of parents that work like in the hospitals and firefighters and stuff like that.
Nice.
Um, so that's what I'm working on currently right now. I was still actually in the nursing home for a while, up until like probably 3 weeks ago. I stopped kind of doing that just so I can kind of focus more so on this business a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I kind of been like just trying to work on like since we've been in the house, I've been working on like a vision board, which I finished.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of helps me get a lot of ideas to move forward with like my businesses and also like just different things in the future that I would like to do on my different goals and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just kind of trying to push the daycare right now, and then once that you know goes how I like it, then I'm gonna move to the home health agency.
Okay. Hey, so a friend of mine, her name is Shayla. She operates a daycare, like an in-home daycare already. She knows all the ins and outs of it. I want to connect you to her, Sydney. Will that be okay?
Yes, that's definitely will be fine because I've been actually meeting with a couple other friends and colleagues that are actually in the
Yeah.
that already like have they're providers and they already have things going on, so
Exactly.
they're able to give me they give me a whole lot of intel on it. But
Yeah.
besides that, just working on these kids. We're homeschool teachers now.
Kaylee, are you a homeschool teacher too?
Yes, but luckily, like I told you, my mom's been a teacher for 40 years, so I have the pleasure of have her doing that.
Hey, that's a home court advantage there.
Of course, she's missing her students though, but she's able to. They're kind of like still working just at home online. So.
Yeah, I know Thomas gets on Zoom and does video conferences with his teachers, so I'm sure she's been able to remotely touch base with them.
Yeah.
Nice. So, guys, I want Denise to talk a little bit about her story. She came to the United States with maybe one dream, and then things shifted. Denise, can you give us a little bit of your story?
Hi, ladies. Good to talk to you. Get to know you a little bit more. Like Zach said, I came here actually 13 years ago from Brazil. I just wanted to come, hang out, learn the language, maybe meet a cute guy or something like that. Nothing too serious. But things changed a little bit. But before I came here, I actually was going to law school, so I was like one class away from finishing it. And the plan was to go back and finish, graduate, and continue, with my career there. But things changed. I met Zach. We got married. We have our son. And then I'm like, okay, well, now what do I do? Like, I couldn't transfer everything I had for law school, so I had to start from what I could do. I was doing, I was an au pair for a little bit, so I lived 2 years with a family, and I took care of their children. Then through one of Zach's acquaintances, I became a nanny, and then during those years being a nanny, I went to Cincinnati State and got an associate's degree in early childhood education, and just kind of kept, moving forward from that. I started working at a daycare here downtown. And after a couple of years, I'm like, you know what? It's a lot of effort, not enough money. I'm like, I gotta go and do something else. So again, through Zach's connections, he was able to, somebody, the company I'm currently working at was in need of an administrative assistant. So I went in, I had no experience. I just went in and interviewed and put my best foot forward. And it worked out. I worked there. I've been working there now for a little over 3 years. I started as their administrative assistant, and now they promoted me as the accounting assistant. Okay. And my goal ultimately is to keep growing and fulfilling other roles within the company that become available. There's always my direct supervisor is planning on retiring in a couple of years, so she's training me to potentially be like a successor, or if anything, take a chunk of her responsibilities in one role of my own, and and then divide and get other people, or maybe if she feels I'm ready to go, I can just take on her role. We never know. But that my goal right now is to really just focus on learning as much as possible. But at the same time, I feel like, one thing that Zach, like he said, when we first met, he didn't have much money. I mean, we were really like almost paycheck to paycheck and just kind of living life like that. But he always had something, like a couple of things going on. So if one thing doesn't work, we always have something else to fall back on.
Right.
And I think this crisis we're living right now has taught us that. Always have something else to fall back on. Because you don't know what's going to happen. If one thing closes, you can go to something else. You can go here, you can go there, and you can just, you got to reinvent yourself. You got to keep, just have something in the back of your pocket that you can just pull it out and just keep it going. Because if you just do one thing and one thing only, and once that door closes, then what?
You're stuck.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right,
And Zach and I have been very blessed right now that we're both still working. Like, construction business is I work for a construction company, so construction is an essential business. So we keep going. Zach is also in a position where he can keep going, working pretty much, But there's so many people out there. There's just struggling, and it's just keeping a mind open to the opportunities you get. And sometimes I have never, ever thought I would be in accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. My mom has a background in accounting, my cousin, and there's a lot of people in our family that has a background. And I always told them, I am never going to work in this business. And here I am. So, never say never. Keep your mind open. Get connected with people that can really help you. And if you know somebody's done something before, just go talk to them. Go get them more information. Pick their brain a little bit and try to learn, what their pitfalls were and things like that. So, and just keep pushing, keep focused.
Yeah, Denise, that's great. And just for context, Denise also in each move never laterally moved from a financial standpoint. It was always a significant pay increase. She doubled her pay just going to her making construction receptionist job, and then she raised her pay by tens of thousands of dollars since going there by becoming an accounting assistant. And what you didn't say is her supervisor is the vice president and CFO of the company. So if she takes that role, she becomes, an executive, at the
Right.
company. So she's moved up. And just again, for some context, Kayree's now working. Is this right? As an oncology PCA at Christ, is that right, Kayree? That's
Mm-hmm.
That's
that's
awesome.
that's within the last couple months that's happened. And I mean, of course, she's built herself up with years and years of experience in behavioral and mental health. Hey, Sydney, one thing you didn't say is you have an opportunity waiting at TriHealth when the pandemic kind of settles down, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
That's right.
I definitely have that opportunity, and I'm gonna definitely take advantage of that.
What I want to, yeah, Kayree, go ahead.
But yeah, I just can't wait to see how things do go. I'm using this time to cross all my T's and dot all my I's.
Right.
As I tell everybody they should. Because it's just a time, that maybe we might have needed, the world needed to heal.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kayree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
What I want to do is, Kayree, I want to talk to you about the esthetician piece. I have a lot of thoughts, not like, hey, you need an SBA loan and this and that. I'll show you how to get it going from nothing to something. I know.
Yeah, because I've been building my credit. I got my credit right now to a 675. It's at like a home right now. So I'm gonna pay one thing off and then give it 30 days to see where it goes from a 675. But I still don't want to take out any loans right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because I still need to purchase like a home first.
Yeah.
That's like my one of my long term goals. But yeah, just to get that kind of like you said, just to have like extra money coming in case things do go sour. I do have that talent to, utilize that in case of an emergency, or if I needed to make an extra couple dollars, I can utilize that talent. That's just one of the things that I want to close, because you kind of start things and then procrastinate on finishing, and that's not what I want to do. I feel like I took the class. I'm good at it. It's not like I'm not good at it. I can had an opportunity, and then I'm put in a position where all the nurses, all the PCAs are like, hey, I'm interested as soon as all this is over.
Yeah.
So I just got to get myself in a place where I can do it.
Then that's my job to assist you with following through as a partner to you. Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you, loans are for people that can't sell. If you can sell and you take a loan, that's one thing. If you get a loan to start, no, you're not. You got to be a sales first person. Do this out of the basement of your house or extra room in your house, and just start hustling like a maniac. I mean,
that's my thing. That's like, not to cut you off, but like that's one of my things. I kind of want to find like a small little thing where I could just have people come for a while. Like, Kyrie, don't you do me?
Say it again, Sydney.
Where I can get on to like have a full salon right now or anything. I just want to kind of start small, get my clientele up, and then I'll go from there. But that's real good, Kyrie. I'm not to interrupt you, but don't you do mink? Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah, that's good. You'll be able to build your clientele up, like you said, through like the nurses and because a lot of the nurses and PCAs have been like, hey, we did like a little get to know you things to do kind of thing, like hobbies and stuff. And I kind of wrote down like, hey, that's one of my hobbies, that I do. And like 10 or 12 nurses were like, hey, are you the one who do minks? Are you? Right. Is it you? So it's like my vision board, Kyrie, because I was like at the same, like I was kind of feeling like you, like I don't want to jump out there and do all these things with my credit because I want to get a house first. Yes. I told myself, like, I'm going to get these businesses. I don't know if this makes sense. I'm going to just throw this out there to everybody know. Yeah. I told myself I was going to start my businesses and then, like, not buy anything, like, not go buy a house or a car or anything right away. I was going to use my businesses, like, the income that I'm getting from them to buy my house and my car and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, so it won't seem like, because at first I could get a house first, then I could get my business. Then I could, But I feel like that business is what's gonna get you your house, your car, everything, and it's gonna be able to pay for it for you. Like if you have like, so I'm like, that's why I'm still okay with renting right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, once I get fully established and get my business up and coming and stuff like that, I feel like that income that's coming in from that is gonna put me in a position where I can't, even with my credit being good, I can just go put down those payments on a house or a car that I want to be able to pay it off easily with what I'm making that's coming in. So that was one of my things I put on my vision board and one of my goals, because like the other way I was trying wasn't really working out for me. So like trying to go get a house or a car note and stuff like that. It wasn't really working out for me how I wanted to. So I thought like just, I don't know. So that's just how I'm doing it, but I don't know. So what do you think about that though, Matt? Like, you think that's like a...
Hey, yeah, let me just share with you all, and I thank you for bringing this up. Debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio. If you have low debt and high income and a high credit score, the world is yours. Don't do the prestige of a building and a salon and this and that. Make cash. Income, whether it's out of a side room in your house, a basement, doing it at the person's house itself, cash on cash returns, meaning you spend a little and you return a lot. People want to do prestigious stuff. I've got a building downtown. Who cares? How much money are you making? It's all about the cash returns. And I mean, I know this is sounding a little bit greedy, but it's true. You want a base job like at a Christ or a Tri-Health that has long-term income, benefits, you know, all the niceties. But as your side hustle, boy, it's all about cash. It is not about prestige. People respect the cash. And I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about banks. And when you go to get that loan, when they see your income, because you're going to have W-2 income, W-2 income is your base job, and then W-9 or 1099 income from being a contractor or a business owner. You're going to have two tax filings, a W-2 and a W-9. The more cash you have and the lower your debt level, the better your credit score. The world is yours. So don't get caught up in the hype of, I need a store with inventory and I need all these supplies. No, you need to do the least you can in terms of output and the most you can in terms of income. People are working with you because of your skills, not because of, oh, well, it's down on Walnut Street in a beautiful building. Forget all that. That's hype.
Exactly. Right. That's the way I'm looking at it, Zach. I feel like starting out small is kind of more important, because sometimes you go big with the little that you have and then it flops. Right. And you lose it all because you already didn't have anything in the beginning. And then I think that's why a lot of people pull down, you know, put together what you do have, and then it flops and then you're out on both ends. Like, I feel like just starting small, you know, making the little cash that I am going to make, preparation. Right. And then kind of trying to go like for, I wouldn't even like go for a small, I would do like a small, and like a little suite or something.
Yeah. Hey, guys, listen.
Small booth. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's right. A small booth. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Low overhead. You know, got to have low overhead so you can make the most of your profits.
Right. That's smart.
There, like, I'm just going to loop to me when I was, and I still do this actually, but when I needed to make cash returns, I didn't because I did fitness instruction. I went straight to people's house. The only expenses I had were driving my car to their house. And then I charged, the group the money. I never had a gym. If I had a gym, it was something that I could leverage at no cost. I made maximum cash returns. I never worried about overhead intensive stuff. If you're going to do something, a booth rental and or a pop-up shop or something that allows you to test and see if the water is hot or cold is smart. Diving in head first and not knowing if you're going to make a cash return is riverboat gambling. That means you might as well just go down to the casino, get some chips, spin a roulette wheel, and let it fly. Don't do it. Be certain about, be certain about returns.
I think a lot of people are scared to invest in their skills.
Yeah. But let's zoom into what you guys are doing. If you're doing skin, if you're doing, a service that requires little expense, it's just more time and talent. All you're burning is time and talent. You're not really burning cash.
Right.
You and Sydney, you already have a house. If you do in-home daycare or childcare,
and I already have the kids too. That's why I'm doing
exactly.
that. All the kids are my family. We have twin 4-year-olds, and we have newborns coming like every month now up until August. But, so I have enough children to do the daycare of my own, just with our own family. So that's why that idea was kind of always stuck there with me.
But you all have to do it, and you can't get caught up in the hype and hoopla of what other people think. Oh, well, you should open a salon. You should open a daycare center. Rent, overhead, diluting profits. No. Eventually, and you can ask Denise, as I built my cash, I invested more and more and more. And I tell her all the time, and I get frustrated with myself, I want my passive income to pay for all my life, right? When you get done side hustling hard enough and you have a bunch of cash stored up, you can invest in other things. And this is a conversation for down the road that make you money when you don't do anything. But that takes patience.
Like, you thinking like short-term goal. Like I told you, like my long-term thing has always been like, how can I put it? More geared towards like social needs, as far as youth social needs, I would say. Like that's been always my long-term goal is to work with people that's, I would say men. I wouldn't even say women, and it might sound biased, but women, we have a lot of opportunities, especially after we start having children so young, 16, 17. You have a lot of social welfare things that will help you get along versus like a 16-year-old child with no father, no home, no mom. They gear more towards the streets because that's all that they know. There's nobody like, hey, you need a haircut, or let me help you get a haircut for a job interview, or let me make you prepared to look nice to get an interview, because people don't know, like, not everybody don't want to work. There's some people who want jobs, but they don't look up to par to even walk in a job for an interview, if that makes sense. Or you got like a child, or you got a kid that want to be successful, but there's nobody there to give them that extra push, like, hey, you can do it, I believe in you. Or any kind of motivation just to make them feel like they can succeed in society. It's a lot of lost children, and that's what bothers me the most. I just don't know where to start. Like, I just be feeling so bad for our youth, and just looking around, seeing they dying so young, and it's terrible, and it bothers me so bad. It's just like, where do you start when you have so many people who's like already looking at a person and interpreting, oh, he a criminal because he looks this way, or she's not gonna be worthy of being anything because she's dirty, or she don't appear to be somebody who's successful just based off the looks, or where she come from, or what she's been through, or stuff like that. That really bothers me. It's just like, where do you start when you're in a community or around a whole bunch of people who just like, they're looking past it now. Like, churches aren't even opening doors to people who are hungry anymore. It's like, if you don't look like you have money, or if you don't look like like the average human being, you're getting looked straight past. And it's just for regular homeless anymore. It's 16, 17. It's heroin addicts that's 18, 19. They're out here, like, are just walking past them. Like, nobody's reassuring, or nobody's even offering like that even little bit of hope that you need to feel like you even change from anything that you're going through. It's just sad. It bothers me really bad.
They need guidance, right? You want to
just like
guidance to tell you, here are the resources. Let me show you. Here's where you go. That's what's available to you. that you can go and hear the people that can help. Yeah.
Yes, like there's no places where, like I'm saying, like how you remember when we were younger, they had, you guys are probably, I don't know if you're from Cincinnati, but back in the day, it used to be Dress for Success, where you can just go, they were borrowed clothes, but you would go borrow the clothes for an interview, and you would bring the clothes back, but it would provide you with what you needed for the interview. Nobody straight off is going to have money for a haircut. Or, you know, brush their teeth or anything to even go prepare themselves for the real world. Like there's no place anymore, and it's terrible. I don't know. I just don't know where to start with it.
Yeah, you know, Kari, I think like a few things. Okay. Number one, it's about being a practitioner yourself. It's about getting you set. I mean, you've got the Christ thing, you kicked butt, you got that literally in one day. I mean, you impressed Dustin and team the first interview, and now you're at where you're at on that. I think we can get the esthetician service up and rolling, no problem. The answer to what you're saying with your men or your boys or your families here that need that helping hand where you can give them the blueprint, if they're on Medicaid, you can case manage them. I mean, and that's going to give you, I mean, you can't do stuff for free. Yes, we'd all love to help people, but it has to be where you can help yourself too. So I think ultimately what you're looking at is also engaging in some case management stuff with them. And I can show you how to do that. But I would say get this esthetician piece off the ground. And I know you already had mentioned that that's a long-term aspiration. Once you get the income off of that and the Christ Hospital, we talked about it. Come, you know, September or October of this year, I think you could be in the hunt for a home of your own. And I don't think that that's too far off. Did you connect with Katara from Huntington Bank?
Get him. Like I told him, I don't want to run my credit right now because I'm pretty good at credit. I'm not like I'm an expert or anything, but I'm good with looking and monitoring my own. So if I let him run my credit right now, it's gonna pull down.
Yeah, don't tell him
pull down from my score. So I feel like I don't need to do that right now because I'm not quite there, if that makes sense. Sure. Like I'm only at a 675. I wouldn't even want to take out a loan for a home right now at a 675.
Yeah, no, don't.
My thing is to at least get it above a 700 and think about that.
I think so, and I think you've got to be on the job at Christ for 6 months, and I think you have to show positive cash flow with the esthetician business. If you revisit this in August, I think that would be very wise for you. And then I know, do you remember that lady, Katie Nuzecki, that I gave you the contact number for? She runs that organization called Village.
Yes, I still have it.
Did you call her yet?
I had called her, and then she was supposed to give me a call back. I guess she was busy at the time, and I didn't receive a call back. But you know, I should have tried again. It's probably, of course, she didn't know, you know, who I was or anything. So I should have reached back out. Maybe reach back out.
That's fine, and maybe I can just do a group text to you and her, and just like better explain. You know, like she probably doesn't remember when I initially called her and said, "Hey, you would be calling." Listen, here's my next step. I want you to churn cash flow with this esthetician business. I will call you sometime this week and we're going to talk. I want you to have something out where you can take some notes. And it's not going to take a nickel. It's just going to take hustle. But we'll talk about how to get that to a place where you can make more money for yourself, because I know I'm having a similar conversation with Crystal. So it would actually be cool to talk with both of you. And this is where the group can help one another quite a bit. Okay. All right. Well, hey, Kari, awesome. I know Sydney was Walmart shopping, so it looked like her connection dropped. Crystal broke her phone, but I think that would be back online. I don't know. Bria's it's a shame Bria wasn't on this call. She could have benefited so much. She's working at Fifth Third Bank now. If she would have told this story about she was working at Bibby Bop, and I'll tell a little bit of it. She was working at Bibby Bop before she got this job at Fifth Third, and she would drop her kids off at their childcare, and the people would see her with the work uniform on. But now that she's working for Fifth Third, she has to dress with a nice sweater, nice pants. She has her little Fifth Third card. She describes it as, you walk into Fifth Third and you scan in with your badge, you say hello to security. You're in an office with this beautiful glass, really nice view. But when she went to pick up her kids dressed professionally with the badge, what happened to you? Like, this is what they were saying. She was like, what do you mean? You look different. You look good. And like, they couldn't believe, like, she had transformed. Her clothes were different. Her energy was different when she went to pick up her kids. It's a really cool story. But
and that's was my point. Like, you actually, when you look better,
yes.
I've noticed it don't even have to be like fancy things, but just when you look better, you feel better. Not even being financially stable, but
right.
just like nice, brushing your teeth or having your hair. You feel better on the outside. You can work more on it. You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course.
You feel like you can conquer the world.
Yes,
you feel good. You feel like people are looking at you seriously, and that you mean what you're going to do or what you're going to say, and that you're prepared.
Hey, Denise, tell her what Evans used to do. So Evans Nwanko runs Macon Construction. He created the company before it was a success, and it's a big success. What did he do when he was running it out of his house, Denise?
So, and this was kind of funny because now I'm working partially from home and I still go to the office. So like I go to the office 2 days and I'm working from home 3 days. But when he first founded the company, he used to work out of the basement, and every morning he would wake up and put his suit on and go downstairs to the basement to work.
Oh, well.
And it's funny because when we started working from home, he told everybody, he said, listen, I want everybody to wake up, get some decent clothes on, do your girls, ladies, do your hair, your makeup, be ready. Because if you roll out of your pajamas and you go into the kitchen to go to work, you just don't feel like you're mentally prepared to work. You still like in half mode, like are you home, but you're working up, but you're in your PJs, or your hair looks a mess, or you just like, yeah. So I kind of thought it was kind of ridiculous at first because I was like, really? And my supervisor said, I'm gonna FaceTime to make sure that you are wearing blah, blah, blah. And she did. But because I'm a good girl, I woke up, I got dressed. I mean, it didn't have to be business attire, but then you're supposed to look the part.
Right, because the point is, you look how you feel. Like if you look down and you feel down. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, but Kayri, just kind of zipping back to your point with youth or people in the community that need that uplift and looking good and feeling a certain way, just like, let's pretend you just gave them a hot like whatever you did to make them feel better, look better. You could actually charge Medicaid for that. Like it's a whole big thing. Like, and we could talk about that offline, but I know what you mean. If you look a certain, if you feel like you look a certain way, and it has nothing to do with the quality of the clothes or something, it just really has to do with more how you're viewing yourself. It makes a big impact. I know what you want to do. I know the gift you want to give to people. I think you have there's this guy's name's Bill Campbell. He says, I've been blessed. He's unfortunately dead. Now I want to be a blessing. In order to do it, you have to get you first. But I can show you how to do what you want to do down the line as well. No problem. But I think you have to just prioritize you above all else. And it's not that you dismiss them or don't help in some capacity. You can always share insights and thoughts. But if you want to put that into your kind of side hustle, task that you can do, wait a little bit, just because it is time consuming. People have a ton of needs. I love them. I'd love to help everybody. But if you prioritize you and you get yourself in line, especially where you can get to that new house in 6 months, and I agree with you with not doing a hard credit inquiry, you will be in a much better position. I will beyond gladly get you a referral to work in this mental health agency where you can give these services. Can you say, hey, I gave him a hot towel treatment and, I helped, show him what good, like nicer clothes selections. No, you can't note it like that. You have to say the person was dealing with anxiety. They were very anxious. They were very self-conscious about their look. You helped, redirect their behavior, da da da. We can go over how you do all that. And you will get paid by Ohio Medicaid to do it. And you will change that person's life, which I just applaud you immensely for. But don't do it now. Build yourself up. Build yourself up a bit more, and then we'll talk about it, okay? I love it. I love that you're doing that. I just really applaud you.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to get this crew assembled. You're the only one with a good Wi-Fi connect. Everybody wanted to do it. It just, some people's tech, man, it wasn't there today.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Kaylee, I'm going to call you this week, and I'm going to call Crystal, and I want to huddle up with you guys and get you rolling with this, the business.
Okay.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Kaylee.
Nice to meet you.
All right. See you guys. Bye.